As crazy as the new build market has been over the last year, our prices in Austin and around the US for new construction about to go up even more. Jeremy and I at the Night Group, your favorite Austin realtor. I just came across this article talking about material and labor shortages going to cause prices to increase in 2022. We're going to go through this article today. We're going to talk about some of the things and the issues that builders are still facing. And then we'll go through and we'll talk about some of the pricing and incentives we're seeing right now and kind of deduce, are we going to see price increases in new construction throughout next year? Make sure you comment below. I want to hear from you. Are you in the buying process? Did you put something under contract? Do you just have a comment below that you want to write? I'd love for you to do that. Here we go. So basically in this article, it says labor shortages hamper builders in Austin and the situation could worsen in 2022. Now, I found a lot of really great things in this article, so we'll start with some of the points that I really saw. So across the country, final construction costs for major projects throughout August were up 4.5% year to date, with the increase in total gross costs expected to reach 6% by the end of the year. Now, this is what we've been seeing. Obviously, this article is going to go through and talk about, labor shortages and construction costs, but all year long, we've seen costs go up for new construction because obviously we had lumber issues, and now it's really, really hard to actually get materials for homes, which is causing builders to still have to raise their prices. Now, I've made several videos harping on builders for some of the things that they're doing, the practices that they're going, but builders do face some issues when it comes to new construction and building new construction because we do see shortages in product and a lot of those things. Secondly, this article points out that scarcity of labor and volatility in construction materials were listed as two of the biggest reasons why commercial construction prices are expected to rise between 4 and 7% in 2022, and described the material volatility as unprecedented in modern history. And additionally, lumber and steel prices experienced the largest price increases record since the government began monitoring such data in 1949. Other record-breaking jumps, aluminum, plastics, copper, materials, and increased between about 23% from 2020 to 2021. So basically what this is saying, it is getting more expensive for builders to build these homes. So yes, the increases in these material costs will be sent to you, the consumer, over the next year, which I see some things happening with this that could be a major concern. Number one, we are finding ourselves in an affordability issue right now in the Austin area and a lot of places. I mean, the median price for homes is crazy. We have clients that are trying to buy new builds right now, and builders are still limiting the amount of homes they are selling. They are increasing the prices and doing a month-over-month price increase on the homes they're selling. We just walked into a neighborhood recently where they had sold one home and they're like, we can sell one more, that's it. Now, I've said several times that towards the end of the year, they do offer incentives, and there are quite a few incentives, like this one from GFO Homes. If you put a home under contract, they're giving you $10,000 towards upgrades. And if you buy an inventory home, they're going to give you about another $5,000 in closing costs. So we are seeing some of these builders offering closing costs. And what we've seen with a lot of these builders is the fact that they are putting a lot of inventory homes together, right? So they're just kind of pre-speccing out homes. And so there's a few neighborhoods that I've seen that build up an inventory, but some of those prices are still so high that the consumer is not buying those homes. There's a couple that I can think of off the top of my head where they are just sitting there with a lot of inventory. And I think the problem that we're going to see is as some of these prices increase to a point that unaffordability catches up, some of these builders are going to have to figure out how to reduce their costs. Is that reducing costs in labor, which they can't do? Because look at this, labor costs are expected to shoot up in 2022. Forecast wage increases between 3 and 6% next year. That's a huge cost. So their labor is going to cost them more, so they can't get it from labor, right? Material costs are higher. They got to pass it on to the consumer. So how do they build a more affordable price home if people aren't buying it? So I think what we're going to see over the next year is prices for new builds will continue to rise. And there's another problem. The other problem is the fact that interest rates, they just announced tapering is going to take place, which means that interest rates are expected to go up. So that will limit what people can afford on their home. Now, look, if a builder is having to raise their costs about 7%, let's think of what 7% transferred to a consumer is. So let's say you're looking at a $500,000 house. That makes that house now $535,000. If you're going to go buy that home as a consumer, that's going to cost you about another $180 a month. Now, over the life of that loan, if you hold it for 30 years, that's a lot of money year over year that you're paying extra just for that extra $35,000 jump. So builders are going to be faced with this problem, and consumers, if consumers stop buying some of these homes and stop moving, then that's going to be an issue. But if you look at any business journal or anything that's talking about Austin, there is a ton of development, and there are still a lot of companies still moving to Austin. So Austin's headed in this trajectory where we're going to see a lot of growth over 2022, 2023, and beyond. This article actually goes on to talk about some of the construction that's going on. And one thing that they point out in this article when it comes to labor is things are taking longer to get built. Now, we've noticed that and we've seen that in the new build industry, but when it comes to commercial, what they're seeing is people will leave the job to go get $1 more somewhere else, which good for them, but that causes delays for all of these projects that are being built around the Austin area. So if projects are taking longer to get built, homes are taking longer to get built, buyers in our area are going to go look towards resale. And right now, if you go in the resale market, there's about a month of inventory. So buyers that are going to be coming into Austin in 2022 and 2023 that are looking for new construction are going to have some issues because those delays, well, we're going to continue to see delays because when one sub leaves a new build and goes somewhere else, that means that they have to spend time finding another sub to come do it, whether it's a plumber, electrician, roofer, whatever it is, it's going to take the builder longer. I know there's people out there saying that the market is going to crash because the amount of homes that we're building, but the reality is it is taking a lot longer to build those homes, and they're not just available like that. But some of these builders are going to have to take a haircut on some of these inventory homes they built. So I talked to a builder today and asked them what they're facing, and really they are limiting the amount of sales that they're doing in their neighborhoods, and on top of that, they're moving more towards an inventory product, which means that you as a consumer don't get to do that fun stuff where you're getting to choose what's in your home, but the builder's got to do that in order to cut costs. So that home that you were paying for that you could have picked out all these great things, well, the builder's picking them and you're still paying about the same price without all of those expensive upgrades that you would have gotten the home. So you're getting a lower quality product, and I think that's what we're going to see in 2022. We're going to see people that are buying new builds get a little bit lower quality product and not as nice of homes because the cost will end up being the same because the cost of everything is going up. So I think that's something unfortunate we're going to see. Now, I am seeing incentives still at the end of the year. There are a few neighborhoods that do have plenty of homes to sell. So hopefully those prices will come down and we'll have a mad dash of people buy those homes. But what do you think? Do you think the prices in Austin are going to continue to get expensive with new build? Are you buying? I want to hear from you in the comments. Jeremy Knight, the Night Group. Have an awesome day.